Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to continue our series on the Dell PowerEdge R230 server. In this video we're going to specifically focus on drives, both solid state and hard drives. Let's get going. Hey, thanks for stopping by today to learn a little bit more about the Dell PowerEdge R230 server. Do us a favor, if you find anything that helps you in this video, click that like and smash that subscribe. All right, we'll hop in. This video is going to be specifically dedicated to drives, so let's just go ahead and hop in and talk about what we're going to do. So what we'll do is we're going to go over the two different types of chassis that you can see here. We have them both laid out for you. Then we're going to go over the types of compatible drives. We're going to go over the speeds and sizes to compare those compatible drives to figure out hey, what's best, what works best for you. Then we're going to show you how to install the drives, which is pretty simple. And then we're going to go over two testing tools that we like, Dell Diagnostics and HD Sentinel. Let's hop into the fun stuff. All right, so first things first, what kind of chassis do we have? Well, you will see we have a 2-bay cabled chassis. So what that means is that these two ports up here, that is not a hot swap drive. That drive is cabled in. If I wanted to pull that tray out, I would physically need to open the server up. There's a little button in there that I can push and I can pull it out. Whereas the 4-bay is hot swap. So these are going to be hot swap drives in the front, just the normal type where you push the little button and you can pull the tray out and slide it back in and out, what you're used to probably. So the 4-bay, for that reason, is a little bit better, but to each their own, right? Now, the one thing you'll notice is both are large form factors. So if you want to use a solid state drive, we have a special tray that we can use there. So this tray is going to have an adapter or a converter, and you can then take your 3.5-inch tray, drop in a 2.5-inch solid state drive, and then still install it, because a lot of people will want to update this system because maybe this is running their dental office, or maybe this is running whatever, and they need to just make it a little bit better and keep a band-aid on it to just extend the life a few more years. Well, one of the first things we always recommend is max out the memory, which in this case is only going to be 64 gigs total, which was in our last video, or update to solid state drives, because a hard drive is going to be a bottleneck for you for sure. If you update to solid state drives, it's definitely going to breathe new life into your system. It's going to be faster. It's going to increase the performance. So it's one of the things that we recommend. So, but how do you again do that if you're used to 2.5 inch? So when you go to our website, when you check out, you will get the option to buy this converter with the tray. So just make sure you get the right one, and then you're able to install it just like normal, no big deal. What interfaces are compatible? You have SATA and you have SAS. Sorry, I wish I could tell you NVMe worked, but it doesn't. It would be so nice if it did. And even with M.2s, you can't boot from them. So at the end of the day, SATA, SAS, that's what you're looking at. And with SAS, you have to have a RAID controller. So, with limited PCIe slots, you might not even have a RAID controller, even though there is a dedicated RAID port. But you might not have a RAID controller, so you might be just using SATA, and that's fine. But SATA and SAS are going to be your two interfaces. All right, so let's go over the speeds and the sizes. Well, to do that, we kind of need to break down, again, what's compatible. So it really goes back to there's 4 drives that are going to work. You could technically put in, actually put one out here for you guys, you could technically put in a 2.5-inch hard drive into a 3.5-inch caddy. I don't know why you would do that, because at the end of the day, a 2.5-inch drive is going to be astronomically expensive, and you can get a way cheaper 3.5-inch drive, so there's really no point in that, but technically that works. So let's go with the logical folk here. There's 4 drives that work. You're going to have a SATA solid-state drive, a SAS solid-state drive, a SATA hard drive, and a SAS hard drive. So those are going to be your 4 choices, right? So let's break down the speeds and the sizes. So with a SATA with the SATA solid-state drive, you're going to get 6 gigabit per second. That's going to be your max speed. Whereas with a SAS solid-state drive, you can get 12 gigabit per second. So the SAS solid-state drive is going to be the fastest option possible with this machine. Now, what about the sizes for those? Well, you can get 7.68 terabytes with a SATA solid-state drive. Whereas with a SAS solid-state drive, you can get 15.36. So technically, the SAS solid-state drive is going to be faster and more scalable. So if you're looking to add more storage to this box and you're looking to make it faster, SAS solid-state drive might be the way for you. What about the hard drives? Well, you can use 7.2K speed, which is going to be revolutions per minute, because keep in mind that A hard drive is a spinning disk, right? It's literally a mechanical device that has a disk that spins around and around and around 7,200 times per minute. Yes, old school. The problem with that is that the ball bearings will wear out over time. And with the SATA drive, it's not as big a deal, but with the SAS drive, you can get 7.2K, 10K, or 15K. Well, those 15K drives, those are my real concerns. So if you've been using a 15K speed SAS hard drives for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, I would be concerned. The ball bearings, I mean, it's a mechanical device. The ball bearings will wear out over time and it will result into a failure. So now might be the time to go ahead and just switch from that and jump into a solid state drive, which can be better performance and faster speed, more reliable, right? Again, everyone, their budget and their application, everything is different, but now could be the time for what you're doing, right? But at the end of the day, a hard drive is more prone to failure. A hard drive is mechanical, so just know that going into it. What about the sizes? Well, the max sizes that we've played around with and put inside is 16 terabytes for both SATA and for SAS hard drives. Now, that being said, I'm sure you could probably put in a 20 or 22 terabyte, maybe even a 24 terabyte. So do me a favor, if you've dropped in a bigger drive at your home lab or at your data center, drop a comment down below. Let everyone know, hey, I put in a 20 terabyte Seagate XYZ. That'd be great. Just helpful for all the other users to let them know what is actually compatible. All right, now that we know a little bit more about our speeds, our sizes, what types are compatible, all that good stuff, let's go ahead and physically install the drives. But before we do, I'm going to grab my ESD gear. Be right back.
Hey, this is Mason with Cloud Ninjas, and today I'm going to show you how to install your drives into your Dell PowerEdge R230. Now, as you can see, this is our 4-bay large form factor chassis, and we're going to go ahead and show you how to actually install the hot swap drives. As you can see, this is the 3.5-inch large form factor hard drive. And if you're wondering how you're going to install an SSD into these trays, there's this adapter right here where you can easily go ahead and screw the SSD, and we'll show you how to actually do that later. We're going to swap out a hard drive for an SSD, and the way we're going to do that is using this adapter tray located here. As you can see, it helps us put that 2.5-inch into the large form factor tray. You technically could use a 2.5-inch hard drive instead of an SSD, but most of the time you're going to want to use that solid state drive because it's a better alternative to the hard drive. The easiest way to take out these drives is to press this orange button right here, and the lever's going to pull out. So all you have to do is just pull that tray out. And now you can see that we have this hard drive. We're going to swap it for this SSD. So all you have to do is go ahead and press that button, and the lever will come up. And all we gotta do is just slide it into the drive tray. Now sometimes it might get stuck and there's a spring right here, and all you have to do is just press down on that spring and it'll help you put that drive into place. So all you need to do is just push this in, and you just push that spring if it gets stuck, and you'll just push this lever down, and there you go. Now your drive is installed to your R230 server. Next up, we're going to show you actually how to install cable drives into your Dell PowerEdge R230. All right, as you can see, we have this tray right here. We have our adapter for the SSD. It's just going to sit in this tray so that way we can install this SSD into place. But if you're going to install a 3.5-inch, it'll simply just screw into the tray. You don't need an adapter for that, but you will need the adapter for the SSD. All right, so as you can see, when you pick up this adapter, you're gonna notice there's these screw holes right here and in here, and you're gonna screw into the holes on this SSD right here and here. So all you're gonna have to do is make sure that this SSD is lined up. We're gonna take one of these screws, we're gonna put it in there, gotta get a closer look. We're gonna go ahead and put one of these screws in here, and we're just gonna take a closer look, just making sure that it's all gonna be lined up. And you'll simply just screw in that screw into place. As you can see here, we're screwing that SSD into the adapter. Pretty easy, just be as gentle as possible. Next, we're gonna go ahead and put a screw in this hole as well. Just gonna line this up, get a closer look at it. We're gonna take our screwdriver and we're gonna go ahead and screw that screw into place, so that way the SSD is safely in the adapter, as you can see here, and there you go. Now we've screwed the SSD onto the adapter, and now it's time to actually put it in the tray. So you see these tracks right here. We're going to go ahead and place this SSD on top of these tracks, and we're simply just going to go ahead and actually push it up just a bit to make sure that these holes are lining up, so that way we can screw it into place. As you can see here, we'll screw it in these spots. these 3 spots. There is another screw right here, but unfortunately on this SSD there isn't a screw hole. We'll just go ahead and screw these into place so that way we secure the SSD into the drive tray. So just go ahead and screw these into place, being gentle as possible. Just taking these screws and making sure that we're lining it up, making sure that it all looks good. So there we go, just screwing this last screw into place. And there you go. That's how you're gonna go ahead and screw this drive in the 3.5-inch caddy with the adapter. And so next we're gonna show you actually how to cable this drive in your cabled R230 system. All right, so now we're looking into our server, and we went ahead and opened up our server to go ahead and show you this top part of the back plane. As you can see, this is our drive that we're gonna go ahead and slot it inside, and then we're gonna connect it with this cable right here to the SSD right here. That way it's all cabled and ready to be used in your Dell PowerEdge R230. So just go ahead and slide this in, and whenever you slide it in, you're gonna go ahead and see this blue circle with an arrow is gonna pop up, and that means it's right there. If you ever need to uninstall it, you're just gonna push that down and it'll go ahead and slide it right out. Pretty easy, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and keep that in. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our connector right here for this drive, and we're just simply gonna make sure that these leads match up with the connector. As gently as possible, we're gonna go ahead and connect this cable to the SSD, and there you go, that's how you connect it. And if you ever need to disconnect the cable from the SSD, you can just pull on this blue tab right here to help guide the cable to be disconnected from the drive. And like I said, you could just plug it right back in. So that's how you're gonna install your drives into your Dell PowerEdge R230 via hot swap and cabled. So next thing we're gonna show you is 2 testing tools. One, Dell Diagnostics, and then the second one's going to be HDD Sentinel. Be right back.
All right, we're going to start by showing you how to run Dell Diagnostics. And technically, with Dell Diagnostics, it's going to test more than just your hard drive. It's really going to test all the components in your system. But this would be how we would recommend testing the hard drives. And yes, it will take some time, so we will fast forward through chunks of this here. So really, it's very simple. You're going to basically on the boot up screen, you're going to hit F10, and this is going to take you to your lifecycle controller. When you get to the lifecycle controller, you're going to select hardware diagnostics. When you select hardware diagnostics, it's going to take you to another screen here. You're going to select run hardware diagnostics. Fairly simple, right? After you select run hardware diagnostics, it's going to give you the option here. It's going to tell you it's going to take several minutes. Click yes to continue. And after you click yes, it is going to take a bit of time to do all this. The nice thing too is Dell will show you the progress as it goes. It'll show you everything from the fans and the memory and the hard drives and a whole bunch of other stuff in here. But specifically in this case, what we're going to be looking for is the hard drives. And so we're going to go ahead and fast forward right here because it's going to take a little bit of time. All right, so you can see the tests start automatically as soon as you click it. It's really an easy process as a whole. It's just going to run it, and it's going to take some time. In our case, it took us about 10 to 12 minutes for it to fully test everything here. Once the test is complete, you're going to get a screen that's going to pop up. In this case, it's telling us that there was failures. Check out the results. We click yes, continue testing. It's done. Click OK. You can go into the results, and in the results tab, it'll have all the different hardware. On the left side, it also will show you a green check versus a red X. You can see that all the hard drives passed, all the other stuff, backplane, video card, the fans were a good, processor, memory, etc. Everything's fine on a hardware level. And you can scroll to the top of that results area, and you will see all the details here on the individual drives and which slots they're in. So relatively easy overall. It will take some time to run it, but realistically, it's not that much time, and making sure that your system is in good working order, it's important. So now we're going to show you how to do HDD Sentinel. which I get is not Dell, but I feel like it's really good for checking on power on hours, health scores, and some of this kind of stuff for your drives. So we will continue with that next. All right, so now we've got Hard Disk Sentinel pulled up, and this is relatively simple as well. You just need to make sure you download the program. What we actually do is we have a separate server hooked up to a bunch of storage arrays so that we can test in bulk, but you just basically need to make sure you have it hooked up. When you pop in drives, they're going to auto-populate, and you'll start seeing them pop up on the left. So we're starting off with 2 in there, but we're going to go ahead and toss 2 more in as we go. And like I said, it's relatively simple. You pop them in, they auto-populate up. You'll see them on the left. You can click on them and you'll see the health score. You'll see if it's running hot, if there's too much temperature on there. When you click on them, you can see the power on time in the middle, how much estimated lifetime is left. There's a lot of cool features here. It's a good way to make sure that you have a healthy drive, because obviously if you're running somebody's data or your own data, you want to make sure that it's protected and not in a drive that is going to fail in the near future. So this is a nifty way to test. And also, if you're just buying drives from people you don't know, and you want to make sure you're working with a reputable vendor, this is a great way to physically just test them. So you can see we just popped in the 500 gig and another 500 gig, and they're popping up on the left. And it's just as simple as just a hot swap or plugging it in, and then you can click on it and see how long it's been on. So this one's been on for 2,200 days, 2,600 days. I mean, those are a fair amount of years put into those drives. So those aren't drives that we would personally want to sell or recommend. So even though they're still in good health, they still have 100% health, those aren't drives that we'd really want to use. But anyhow, appreciate you stopping by to learn a little bit more about how to test your hard drives. If you're looking for any hard drive upgrades, do us a favor and email us at sales@cloudninja.com. That's sales@cloudninja.com. We'd love to help you out. Thanks for stopping by. Take care, guys.